Okay, so I'm gonna father fish my tank. I had a catastrophe occur. I cleaned that Superfish XP 2000 after 3 years. Didn't even really have enough gunk in it to be cleaned, but I rinsed it out and rinsed out the foams and put it back in my tank, which was, you'll see, planted with sand and stuff. And I found my fish dead the next morning when I came back from work. I was so bummed. I've had the tank for 6 or 7 years, other than the heat wave a couple years back. Nothing really died. The plants were good. I changed the substrate twice. Once I had it just, 3 inches of sand, and I guess it was really good. I was a beginner, and I screwed it up by taking it all out and putting about an inch or so of lava rock gravel, which I'll show you in a second, and then poured sand on it, put a bunch of plants back in it, and I got all this weird algae all over the place, and then I had this stringy green algae, and I don't know if it was because there was sun reflecting off a window somewhere. I have no idea what was going on. But anyways, that's the end of that tank. So I started to go to the internet, of course, YouTube, to find out, what I had done wrong, because I'd done that before and nothing ever happened. So I don't know which variable I screwed up. And then I saw Father Fish saying, "It's easy, make a dirty plant, go natural." And I'm like, hell yeah, so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to empty that all out today. I'm still probably going to use it because, hey, I spent money on it. I'm not going to sell it. So here is some sand, aquarium sand from my tanks. Here's some more. Here's the aqua sand natural. I got it from, Craigslist. Here's the gravel, and I'll show you. This is what I removed from the bottom of the tank. It was basically 2 layers. One was the lava rock. And where is this lava rock from? Well, I got it out front when the landscapers came to my apartment complex. I asked them if I could have a sack of it, and they said sure, and they tossed me a sack of lava rock, and I've been using this in my canister filters for years, and I put it as the under part of substrate below sand. But I have no idea. I can't say better, not better, but people said it was a good idea, so I went for it. So all this sand is totally wet. I'm going to let it dry out and then sift out all the big rocks so I can use it as my top layer. I put all my plants in there. I have Anubias and Wisteria, I think. I don't know, some Aquarius gave it to me. Now, when I had 2 to 3 inches of sand only in the big tank, plants grew like crazy. But I had fluorescent tubes, and my fluorescent tubes went out and I couldn't buy them. So then next thing I know, I have LED lights, and the guy told me to get 2. I have one on the other side because I have a 100-gallon tank, 400 liters, but it's deep instead of long. And I bought this on Craigslist, so I had no idea, that deep was a hassle for my short arms. And I would rather have had one a little longer and a little less deep. That would have been cool. So anyways, I went to the store and bought some potting soil. I'll go show you that. And then I'm going to go check out the local lakes and rivers and ponds. But from what I understand, the region where I live was a couple of 100 years ago a huge swamp. And they used pine tree forests to suck up all the water. So basically the whole place is sand. And the people who have yards, it's because when the construction went up, they dumped a bunch of regular soil on it. So I'll check that out and I'll show you guys later. So this is the potting soil I bought. I figured I'd mix dirt, either from a backyard or from the lake, river, pond that I told you about. Here are my buckets and my shovel. I'll go check that out later. Those are my skateboards because I'm going to skate. But anyways, I figured I would mix dirt and the potting soil just because on Father Fish's videos he said potting soil was good, so why not mix it up? But all those crazy minerals and and things that you have to buy, and you know, I can't deal with that. But I certainly could deal with buying a package of supplemental minerals, but according to other of Father Fish's videos, I don't really need that, so we'll see. Anyways, this is my preparation to set up. Because of work, it'll take me a couple weeks, so I'll get back to you. Actually, I think I'm going to go check out the local water spots right now and film. So this is what my local river looks like. You see this fine sand, super fine sand? That's basically the whole town. And I'll show you what we get to the river's edge. Basically, this is what you have. I guess this brown stuff here is the mulm. That's supposed to be really good for the tank, if I understood correctly. And if I dig right here, it's sand, so it's not mud or dirt. I don't know if that matters so much. If I go deeper, basically it goes all the way out to the middle. Even if I dig down, you see it just comes up sand. So yeah, that would be great for my top layer, but not necessarily for the dirt layer, right? I mean, that's fine sand that could cover dirt, and so that would be awesome from my local river. Now if I go to the river bank, you see it's just sand again. If I go over to where the plants are, you can see the roots coming out there. Basically the same thing. So if I dig, well, I can't dig right here because it's all the roots, but basically digging underneath where the roots are, they come up with that. It's just super fine sand. So I don't know if that's acceptable to serve as the dirt part of the substrate, maybe covering the dirt, then that seems like it'd be fantastic. I'm gonna go see a little feeder creek. So this is one of the streams feeding in to the river, which is right over there. You just saw that it was sandy. This looks like it has dirt. So I'm assuming this is, whoa, sinking in. This is exactly what I want to dig up. Yeah, but again, it's very fine sand. I guess the dark colors is that minerals? Is that iron? Is that the good stuff I want? So let's see what's actually in the water. Here are my leaves and my twigs. So that's all good. So I know where to come for that. And digging up under, it's all made up of, I guess, decaying leaves and twigs, which, oh yeah, see, it's a whole layer of twigs. So I wonder, can I put this with all the plants and twigs? Can I put that as the bottom mud layer? I'm just digging deeper to see what it looks like, but yeah, it's basically all sand with some rocks. So I don't know if that qualifies as the bottom substrate. Walk up a little. If I dig up on the side from winter, yeah, it's just all sand. It's all sand. So is that okay for the dirt bottom and then covered by sand? It doesn't seem so if I understood the directions. Now if I go up here, well, let's see where the trees are up at the top, what kind of soil it is. Okay, it's still basically sand with roots, or is this dirt enough? And let's go up a little higher. Yeah, it's just sand and fine roots. So I'll see if I can find there's a hill over there next to an apartment complex, and it has grass growing and stuff, so I'll dig in there. So this is about 20 feet up from the water. You can see it down there if the camera's picking it up, but that's the river. And this is tree line. There's more forest that goes in there. And we'll see what happens when I dig up trowel. So it's rocky, sandy. It's not really, I don't think that, is this good enough for the dirt level? Because it's basically all sand, compacted sand. So I'm gonna try up a little higher up on the hill, see what happens. Closer to the apartment complex, see if they dumped a bunch of real dirt. This is about 50 vertical feet above the river, which is about 2 football fields down that way. You can see the dirt path running up. Coming up, it's sand underneath there, and there's a big tree. I don't know what he's digging to. So I'll dig over around there and see. Okay, so this is basically where the wild pigs dig up. So this looks like more like it's dirt, but is it really? Is this, because it looks like sand to me. It's just richer soil, I guess. Obviously, I don't know anything about it. But if I look in the holes that they've dug up, this is kind of sandy. So I don't know if this is dirt enough to go in to be the bottom dirt part before the sand goes on top. So now I'm gonna go off to the local, I don't know, small lake pond and see what's there. I'll get back to you. So this is obviously a bike path. About a mile up from where the river is. Here's a creek, one of the creeks that feeds into it during winter time. Doesn't look like there's enough water in it right now. It's September, middle of September, and we're gonna go dig right there. It looks promising, but this is promising. It has all the mulm, if I'm using the term correctly, that we'd want, right? You see all the leaves underwater, all the twigs, plants, whatever. Now here's the dirt on the side. Again, just sand. It's just sand. So I don't know if that if this would be good for the bottom of the tank before putting on sand, because it is sand. It's just wet sand that's compacted. See, and I'll show you a little further up the bike path where they plant the pine trees, because as you can see, more and more white sand the deeper I go is down there. See? So if I do it in the water, basically going to come up with the same thing. It's the sand we saw in the river. So I don't think this is what Father Fish was saying, has to put as your dirt layer before putting sand on top. Although these are the leaves and twigs we'd want, because they're not pine trees here. And from what I understand, the pine trees are poisonous to our fish tank. So I'd come here to get leaves from here, and there are oak trees in other areas where I can get oak tree leaves, and I think there might be maple trees. I don't really know my trees that much, but I'll learn as I'm learning now. Now it's back up to the bicycle and just in case you were wondering about the hill, the same thing, right? It's sand, roots, and there's a little worm. Can I stick that little worm in the fish tank? What do you think? Seems like I can, but I don't know. I don't want to be afraid, but I don't want to be dumb either. Ignorance is okay, but I don't want to be dumb. So I'll check it out. Maybe you can tell me. Little worm digging up, can I toss it in my fish tank? One of the local pine tree farms, there's a wood industry here. They make, you know, pine tree farms. They plant them all in a straight line. It's a little overgrown. They haven't come in here to clean it up. But this one was about 4 years ago, I think. Those were all little seedlings. I don't know, maybe 8-10 inches high, definitely less than a foot. I used one for origami, for bonsai. So here, basically, when they run the plows through here, you can see at the bottom there, it's all sand. This is all sand. And I don't even have to dig it up. I can just show you right there. All the land around here, through the whole forest, which is filled with, you know, so-called natural growth, and then all the pine tree forests. They'll come through here with tractors. You see in between here, clear all of this brush out, and then they trim the trees. You see how those ones are? How the branches are cut? They trim all the trees there, and they do that until they're big enough, obviously, and then they take them to the wood mills. We have 3 of them in the area. So yeah, so I can't really get any dirt per se around here, and yeah, here's another close-up for you. It's just all fine sand. Now when it dries out, it's just sand. Not really what Father Fesh is in mind for the bottom substrate before the fine sand layer. Although the lake where I was, that sand right there, I assume is good for the 2-inch sandy layer. It's fine, it's natural. There's tons of it, obviously. But I still need a bottom substrate. Yes, potting soil. I did buy a big bag of potting soil like you saw, but I was hoping to do something with some, you know, nature's dirt and all the microbes and all that stuff to help myself out. Because adding all the minerals and stuff, I don't think that's going to happen. These oak trees, they seem like they might be oak trees. So there are tons of them in and out and about, and I found some down by the river where the huge storms were, and I thought I'd cut them up. You see there, the little acorns there, so I figured that's fine. I figured I'd cut some up and, you know, cut one of the bottom root systems up and throw it in my aquarium. What do you think? Sure, I can look around on YouTube. There are lots of opinions. It seems like it's fine. They just said, from what I understood, definitely no pine trees in there. So these look like oak trees to me, but what do I know? Now, this is up near the houses, but is it dirt or sand? It's sand, okay, again. It's just compacted underneath there, but it's still, I don't know, it's all sandy. This is a little dirtier than the sand, obviously. I don't know who was digging here for what reason, but I didn't have to. So yeah, I don't know. Does that qualify? Oh, looks like they cut a tree down. I don't know, maybe not. Those are. This is close to the apartment building. I don't know. Feels a little dirtier than sandy, but it's still really fine. So if I dug up in the field where there's some dirt like this, most of the time when I dig up for my plants for the year, it ends up being half sand and a little bit of this dirt, but this looks like it might be, I don't know, it's still kind of fine. What do you think? That's right next to the apartment building. This is one of the tree farms, a couple of miles away from the river. I'm going west to go to the small lake that's over there. Here's an area. Yeah. So, block the sun. Oh, that's sand, right? And here I grabbed a bunch of dirt when I planted for tomatoes. I think it's dirt. I don't know why it's black. No, it's sand plus something black. I don't know if it's you know, lots of trucks come through here, so I don't know what it is. There have been fires out here, but I guess it looks like this is ashes fired, but it's sand. You can see the. So I don't know. Can you use that for a dirt tank? Is that okay? I don't know. We'll go check the lake out. Well, here we are at the little pond, lake, whatever you call it. So you see all the sand. Like I said, it's everything here. Here's a little pond. Thought I'd grab some dirt from here. And, well, that's sand for sure. take off my shoes, walk in there, see what is going on. Oh, that's good mulm, right? That stuff right there. Need to put that in the fish tank, in the aquarium. Fish tank. Okay. Yep, sand. I don't know what the gray. It's kind of stinky down there. Okay, but it's fine sand. And that's what is in the lake, or the pond. I guess the pond is a small lake, right? But, yeah. So that's all I have. At least I know I can get some mulm here, but that can't be the dirt, right? That can't be the bottom before I put the sand on top of it, because it's too fine and it's not really dirt. It's alright. I'm not really sure I understand if this meets the definition of dirt or not for the bottom substrate before I put fine sand on it, because it's basically fine sand. So that might not work. I see the gas bubbles coming up, like Father Fish told us would happen when we set our thing up. So what do I do? What do I do? That's it. I guess I can get some polywogs from here too and toss them in there. Hey, by the way, can I do this in a goldfish tank? I should be able to. Goldfish are in ponds all the time in people's yards, right? So, I guess so. Alright, well, I'll show you what I end up doing once I get some feedback and make a decision. I shall not be afraid. Oh, look what I just found. So, is that dirt? No, just colored sand, I guess. Yeah, it's all super fine sand. Colors change. I guess what? There are different minerals in there. Make it black. But back to the same question. Is that dirt? If this is dirt, then I can grab this, but it's basically fine sand. Just like this. It's just wet and compacted. So, I don't know. What if I grab some of those little floating pads there and stick them in my tank? I suppose since this is ambient temperature, I could stick it in with my goldfish, see what happens, and I suppose it wouldn't go well with my tropical fish tank, which I'm planning to make with community fish. So I guess, you know, dominoes and tetras and barbs and I don't know what else. I haven't looked into which fish are together. But would that go in a tank that's up to 82 degrees Fahrenheit? I don't know. What do you think? And look at that. That looks like it's just the plant from here. But can I stick any of that in my aquarium? I don't know. I don't see any fish at the moment, but people go fishing here. So there are. Well, I thought I'd take a look at the banks, see what's happened, but you can see this sand, fine grained. This layer where it's darker, it's the same thing, it's fine grained. So I guess that's fine grained sand, but a different type. Down here, see, it's just sand. It's been discolored by whatever. It's just coloring it all. It's all sand. It's all sand. Here's the thin layer somebody was telling me about. You don't find a whatever that layer is called, where there's some, potentially some dirt, but even then it just breaks down to sandy small things. So I guess that's not good for the dirt substrate before you put the fine sand on top either. Right?